Okay, I'll start now. Yesterday we were doing IIoT. I'll continue from there. State, I don't know this thing, I guess. Let me just check quickly. If I don't know something, I'll just skip it and save it for the last. It is not necessary to go in the order because there are certain things very complicated for us to understand. Until I understand them, I cannot make you understand. So I'll just skip. Okay, so this is how IIoT will improve operational effectiveness, how it will improve the working functionality, how it will improve the functionality of companies. Then, so a survey was conducted by Microsoft and it found that 85% of companies have at least one IoT project in the works. That is, they are trying to create at least one device or they are using at least one device that is connected to the internet. Then how is it going to revolutionize? I have already explained in my previous videos. Here there are certain more things. So I'll go one by one, how IoT is improving operational effectiveness. Just a minute. Somebody is joining. Then IoT in manufacturing help companies optimize operations via smart machinery, sensors, RFID. RF is radio frequency identification. I hope so. Let me just quickly check it. It is using radio waves to find to identify certain objects. Okay, radio frequency identification, RFID, using radio waves to find out which person is standing next to you or which object is in front of you. Then these are some reports. 49% fewer reported product defects. So those who have digitized, those who have started using internet, they have been seeing the positive effects of using internet and using IIoT, internet of IoT, Internet of Things. Yeah. So how that is 82% increase in overall efficiency. That is how much energy or how much raw material they were putting before. Say if you were putting 200 kgs of something and you were getting 100 kgs, that is if you were putting 100 kg of something as raw material and you are getting 100 kgs, you are putting 200 and you are getting 100. That is called 50% efficiency. But now instead of getting just 100, you can get 150. If you did not understand, let me tell you, before, just a minute. If a mobile manufacturing plant was able to make 100 mobile phones per hour, now it will be able to manufacture 182 mobiles per hour. That is what increase in efficiency means. Then 49% fewer reported product defects. Now this means if you supply something, there will be chance that the customer will reject your product. It could be due to multiple reasons. Like I bought a tab once and I was using it, and immediately the same day its screen went blank. Maybe they did not check it properly, or why did it happen? I do not know. But when you bring in sensors and all during the manufacturing process itself, when you are fixing each and every part, that time only they'll check and find out the defect. Now what happens is, if you are manufacturing a mobile phone, you have to connect each and every part and then install software. After that only you will get to know whether the mobile is functioning properly or not. Although using certain ammeters or maybe certain other sensors, you can find out if each individual part is working fine or not. However, there might be a small defect which might destroy the whole mobile phone, like Samsung Galaxy 8, I guess. Samsung Note S or Samsung Galaxy Note 8, something. I guess Samsung Galaxy Note 8. In that, there was battery defect and it used to blast. So if they had used sensors, they would find out that battery is defective before delivering it to the people. So using that method, you can reduce defective products from leaving your warehouse. And 45% increase in customer satisfaction. That is, more and more people started liking the company. Mm. Transforming legacy systems. Legacy in the sense the average factory is 25 years old. Now, when you set up a factory, you have to buy many machines, huge machines, and you have to pay huge amount for that. Now, most of the factories are at least on an average 25 years old. Means they are using machines those are 25 years old, and you can't just go and ask them to replace those machines. That would be very very costly. So instead, what you could do is you could retrofit older machines with sensor. That is, you could attach new sensors in the old machines, and that would be a cost-effective way to optimize existing assets. That is, you will be able to save money while increase. You will be able to save money cost-effective. You will be able to save money while optimizing existing assets. Assets is what you own. So you using fitting sensors in older machines, you will be able to save money and also increase the capacity, increase the increase the functionality of the machines. Then these platforms function almost like adapter for older machinery, collecting data from wire-based industrial protocols. So what happens is, whatever old machines you have, they just used electricity. There wouldn't be much computer softwares there. Like if you take a atta mill, for example, if you take atta mill, for example, what are the parts there? Uh, so that in these machines, there aren't any computer systems available. You just connect it to motor, like electric motor or a petrol or diesel motor, and this starts rotating. That's it. There is no other data. But if you fitted this machines with sensors, you will be able to see where is a small crack. Like I had explained in previous class also, where is a small crack and whether this machine needs oiling or not. When should you replace any part? All that you will get to know if you fix it with a few sensors. Uh, to remote control centers via long range Wi-Fi. So you can send it, like you can sit in your home and operate your machine, atta milling machine, or atta mills or something like that. It is also worth pointing out that innovation extends beyond connected and handhelds and helmets that assist technicians on jobs. This I will have to check. I do not know about this thing, connected handhelds and helmets. I will have to check, or we can save it for later. You can just remember. Then greater energy efficiency. It will be able to track energy usage patterns. So, like I told you before, if the temperature increases, the machine's capacity to work reduces. The machine's efficiency reduces. There is particular temperature at which you have to keep the system. So this, if the temperature is high, then the machine will start using more energy to do the same task. So you can use sensors and find out whether the machine is working properly or not, or if it is using more energy. Right now, main source of energy consumption data comes from monthly power bills. That is, until until the government person worker comes and gives you the bill, you will not know how much electricity you have used. But if at the same time you started fitting certain sensors, you will be able to realize where you are spending extra energy. Maybe you leave your lights on, so during the day it will turn off automatically, or maybe you leave the fan on and sleep at night, but by the morning it should get turned off by itself. You can do all that and save money. Similarly, you can do even in factories. Use sensor to detect anomalies of our consumption. That is, when the system is not working, nobody is present, the machine should not work. Wasteful behavior, where and all it's going waste. Example, if you take the example of atta mills itself, first you have to remove one person's atta, and then you have to put another person's. In between there will be wastage of energy. You can reduce that by making it an automated process. You can calculate exactly after how many seconds your the next person's atta will start coming out. And there are other things. I'm just giving you an example. In industrial, there are more things. To inform predictive maintenance, that is, even before the machine breaks, they will be able to tell you that there is something wrong in the machine. Data analytics gets smarter. That is, data analytics, using the data, whether it's hot or cold, whether it's rainy or windy, whether it's like dry season or moist season. Using all the data, it will be able to analyze and tell you what you are supposed to do with your machine, and when you should oil your machine, and similar stuffs. Using sensors, wireless technologies. This is just a repetition. Cobots. Right now, whichever machines you have, cobots means collaborative robots. Right now, whichever machines you have, those are just robots. Like car manufacturing, if I were to show you. Like if I show you these robots, these robots are not cobots. They just do their functions. They just keep doing their functions. If you go and stand here, they will probably pick you and attach you to the car. That is how these robots work. However, if you make them cobots, collaborative robots, they will be able to understand if a human has entered in the system, and it will be able to interact similarly, accordingly. It will be able to work accordingly, and you will not be harmed. Just a minute, some people want to join. Similarly, if you read the sentence here, this thing I had already told, in Japan there are certain, not only Japan, even in Bangalore there is a restaurant. If you go there, robots will take your order and they will deliver your products. I do not remember where exactly, but I will just do a quick search and tell you. In Bangalore itself, robots serve in restaurant. Bangalore. I do not know the menu there. Okay, robot restaurant. I don't know. I'll just show you a short video. Like, these robots are interactive. You can give the place an order on your tabs, and these robots will bring your food and serve you.
मेरे बच्चे की जान बच जाएगी, मेरी हेल्प कर दो प्लीज।
We know of a lot of restaurants. As soon as you enter this restaurant, you get a feel as if you're entering a sci-fi movie set or an alien spaceship. Boat who takes you to your designated seat. You get greeted by a robot who takes you to your designated seat. So you order your food using the tablet which is provided on the table. There's a wide variety of food to choose from. We Indians. The Thai and Chinese food, its fusion restaurant is very different from what we find in the other restaurants. The robots are self-controlled and they go on their designated paths. They automatically stop at your table and they're serving your order. You have to pick up the food from the tray that the robot is carrying, and there you have your food, served effortlessly by the charming robots.
Okay, so they are not advanced enough to serve you food. I missed there. They will just bring the food to you and stop at a proper destination next to you.
Few other For the other side items,
You also have to press exit. I did not know that. I got to know now. When you press exit, after that only it will leave the place.
you also have the side rail which is used for a few other dishes. So much food. So we great. The ambience is different, which makes it a perfect go-to restaurant.
I hope you all were able to see the video. So like those robots were interactive. They could interact with humans and they could serve you dishes. They could bring in your order. They could not serve, sorry. They could bring in your dishes. They could bring in your order to you. They could bring the order to you. Then they get to know about location, people, and context aware. What is happening around? Context awareness. What is happening around? Then what all can they do? Machine tending. That is, they can tend to machines. They can repair machines. Although they are machines, they'll be able to repair machines. Packaging and palletizing. This thing I have already done in previous video. Finishing tasks like grinding or polishing. Small stuffs that is easy it can do. Even the stuff that is tough it can do. Quality assurance testing. It will be able to find out whether whether a product is or is of good quality or a bad quality, and it will be able to segregate them. Then digital twins are gaining traction. What is digital twins? I had already explained. In medical field, digital twins is an exact copy of you that does not exist in real life. It exists only in computers. Similarly, you can use digital twins in industries. That is by you can reproduce their assets digitally. You can reproduce. You can make the assets. You can make the products digitally. It'll take in a real world data like temperature, condition, location, etc. from sensors attached. Okay, so what happens here is suppose you want to build a house in some place, you will attach sensors and you look at the olden data and you will try to find out when should you start building, when should you start digging. Or similarly, you can use it in farming by I have explained before, by putting a rod with sensors into the soil, and it will be able to tell you which crops you have to grow there. Not only that, you can also create softwares which will have humans in them, and then you can launch a product and see how those humans react, whether they like it or whether they don't like it. Edge computing is shaking up the IoT space. Okay, edge computing means normally cloud computing was keeping your data somewhere else, somewhere far. You be in India, your data is in America, or your data is on the moon. But edge computing means to keeping it next to you. If you are in Bangalore, then keeping your data in Kolar. Or maybe if you are in Bannerghatta, keeping your data in Hebbal. That is what edge computing means. Your data centers will be very close, as due to which data doesn't need to travel far and it will reach you faster. Then why are we not able to adopt to such things? Like if IIoT is such a great thing for industries, then why we are not able to adopt it? What is the reason we are not using it? The lack of expertise. That is, not everybody knows how to use. Even though like we know so much about it, we lack the manpower required, or we lack the number of people that would be required to make such a system. Then vendors. So vendors means that is the manufacturers. The manufacturers might not be interested in it. Like customers are eager augmented reality tools for maintenance and training. That is, customer want augmented reality, something that is happening not in reality but happening in your mobile phone. You will be able to see. I'll show you what augmented reality. Best example is your Insta filters, like the dog filter or cat filter, and one that makes you look ugly. All those are called augmented reality. So customers might be interested in this, while the vendors want predictive maintenance. The manufacturers want softwares that will be able to tell when there is something wrong in the system. Security concerns. That is, your data could be hacked. Industries could be hacked. If there are two companies, say company A and company B, and both are manufacturing mobile phones, then one company can hack into other company's systems and destroy all the mobile phones, spoil your software. Unclear ROI, return on investment. That is if return on investment. That is if you are putting say 100 rupees, then you are not sure whether you will get 110, 120 or maybe 90 rupees. It is unclear. You don't know how much money you will get back. Was I clear about this part? All? Was I clear? Please tell me you understood or not.
Yes.
Okay. These are some of the examples of IIoT. Let us see some of them. Man is a truck and bus company, as the company provides this. These are the companies, Man, Siemens and all. Okay, so what does Man do is it provides trackers and trackers that is able to spot engine faults in the engine, problem in engine and other potential failure, not just engine, many other sensors. It will be able to detect failure and inform you beforehand. Suppose if you are going on a road trip and your car breaks down on the road, it will be a big issue, as you might not be able to get help on time, or it will take a lot of time. So instead of going on a road trip just like that, you could use this company's software trackers and find out if your car engine can last that long. Suppose you have to travel 500 kilometers, then this tracker or this sensor will be able to tell you whether your car can run 500 kilometers or it can only run 200 kilometers. Siemens wanted to build a fully automated internet-based smart factory. Siemens is trying to build a company where there won't be any humans. All the machines, all the machines will do work. All the jobs will be done by machines. That is, from picking up things to fixing them, everything will be done by machines while people sit at their home. So it will reduce the manpower there. There will be more of machines. And also it introduced an operating system called MindSphere. What MindSphere does is it tries to find out it aggregates data, it collects data from different parts of the factory and processes them to find out useful results. Like if suppose a car has got many components: tires, wheels, mirrors, the body, the engine, fuel tank, and many other things. So suppose if you are building and you keep on building, one thing will build faster than the other. Now using these data, you can find out whether you should, suppose if I give you an example, an engine is a complex piece. It will take more time to manufacture, whereas mirrors are easy piece. It will take very less time to manufacture. Then if you start building both together, maybe by the time you are able to make one engine, there will be hundreds of mirrors. Now you don't need so many mirrors. So instead, what you could do, you could place some sensors which will be able to find out whether you should manufacture more sensor or not. Right now what you have to do is you have to calculate beforehand. Okay, yeah, I will make these many engines and I will make these many mirrors. But if you bring in computer system, you don't have to do anything. It will work on itself. Also, not only that, if there is a shortage, suppose you are building engine and there is shortage, say you wanted to make 100 engines and 200 mirrors. Suppose you were to make 100 engines and 200 mirrors, but what happens, suddenly the demand decreases, then you are able, or maybe there is some fault and you are able to make only 50 engines, then automatically you should also reduce the number of mirrors. Now you will have to go and transmit the data to each department that so and so has happened, reduce the number of mirrors you are manufacturing, then they will have to put the data in the system, and then it will stop working. However, if you connect them to internet, you don't have to do anything. One fault in any one place, it will affect everything, or something good happens in one place, it will affect everything. Then Caterpillar, this uses augmented reality to operate machines from fuel levels to an air filter needs. What is augmented reality? I'll show you. It is, yeah, this thing explains it really well. Pokemon Go, one game had come, Pokemon Go, that was augmented reality. That thing does not exist, but you are able to see it in your phone. It does not exist on the road, but you are able to see. That is what augmented reality means. So it is able to use that, and it will be able to tell when fuel level is low or when your air filter should be replaced, and it sends basic instruction on how to replace it via an AR app. Like you can just a minute. So if you wear its goggles, or if you wear its VR box, AR box, sorry, not VR box, AR box, then it will show you like this holograms on your car. Like it is not present; it is present just on the lens, and you will be able to understand what thing needs to be repaired. That is how AR will work. It has been able to increase efficiency by 45%, and then it also delivers real-time information. That is, as it is happening, it is able to tell you what is happening to AT&T. Like it will be able to tell to the AT&T, it is a mobile company. It will be able to tell that, okay, in this area more people are using internet, so increase your capacity. In this area less people are using internet at this particular time, so reduce your internet uh, expenses, like reduce the number of towers functioning. Airbus, it has launched Factory to Future to streamline means to make it better. Same thing, smart glasses to reduce errors. That is, using smart glasses, it is able to direct workers. You are supposed to go left, you are supposed to repair this part or that part. It is able to communicate locally with the operators and send information to robotic tools. That is, you could be sitting anywhere and you could send the signal to the robot to do your work. ABB, it is basically it produces robots and also low cost sensors to monitor maintenance of its robots before, and prompts before the parts break. Same thing, before there is a defect itself, it will be able to find out just by looking at you. Oil and gas production, I have already explained it. And yeah, compact sensor, now induction. This is how a motor works. So you could place a sensor here inside the case. You could place a sensor inside the case, and you will be able to find out if ever in future there is even a small defect, and you can repair it. Motor health via smartphones or on internet by a secure server. So you can connect that sensor, excuse me, yeah, you can connect that sensor using Bluetooth, or you could connect it using internet, and you could be sitting in any part of the world and you could check your motor from any part of the world. Just a minute. Fanuc, it is the largest supplier of industrial automation equipments in the world. That is, robots and all, robots as well as softwares. It focuses on robots, sensors, machine tools, all these you can read by yourself. Smart factories, all those things that I have told you, use that. Self-driving cars, I have explained you how self-driving cars work. And it was the first company that brought the concept of GPS in tractors. So right now we have GPS in our mobile phones and we have GPS in our cars, but this company also used GPS in tractors. Telematics, technology for predictive maintenance of applications. Tele means far, matics I don't know, but this roughly means, you could be sitting anywhere and you could watch your machines work. Matics means information. Sorry, no. Uh, yeah, information. So you could use telematics technology. You could send information to far off places, and you could use predictive maintenance. Again, this thing is repeat. I have explained. Tesla also same thing. You can check the device from anywhere through your smartphone. Hortilux monitors high level of efficiency, offers like this uses smart sensors. This also I have explained. Go check. Utility. Okay. What is the difference between IoT and IIoT? I had explained you yesterday, but I'll explain. It is in short, IoT for single use, IIoT for commercial use. IoT, you do not have to worry much about security because if something goes wrong, you can always replace your device. IIoT security is a bigger concern because if something happens, it'll be very costly to replace the whole device. Degree of applications, it does simpler tasks. IIoT does more tasks. Cost, this is less expensive. This is more expensive. Connected manufacturing, all this I have explained already. Customer insights and product innovation, that is real time innovation based on customer demand. Very good use of this part, very good use of this part is done by one phone company, very famous phone company. Can anybody guess which company used this? Can anybody guess which company has used this system? Real time innovation based on customer demand. A very good mobile phone company, and it got famous because it used this technique. Can anybody give me phone company's name?
Apple.
Which phone company it might be? No,
Apple.
not Apple. Apple is not so fast. Some other company has used. It is a very famous company, and it is liked by most people. It is OnePlus. In case you don't know OnePlus, they ran before releasing their mobile phone. They ran social account or something, blog. They ran a blog and they asked, "What do you want?" They asked customers, "What do you want?" And accordingly, they manufactured their phones. So customer told, "We want so and so screen, so much battery life, this Android or like." So many features they asked, this camera and all, and then OnePlus created their phone based on customer insights, based on what customer wants. That is why it became famous very soon, because it stick to the customer demand. Then you can manage these risks. You have to manage these risks. Okay, management. You have to keep checking whether your system is working properly or not. Although it will check on itself, still you have to check sometimes. Then you will have to build cyber security, that is antivirus, so that nobody can hack into it, and evaluate contract practices. Evaluate contract practices to manage exposure. You have to keep checking if the product that you have sent is being used correctly or not. Discuss relevant insurance coverage. Yeah, because these things, the machines are very costly. You should check whether insurance company will cover it. If your data gets hacked, maybe there might be an insurance company which will pay you for your data. Or if suppose you are using a machine, say you are using an automated car, you are using an automated car, and if it goes and it meets with an accident, then you will have to check with your insurance company whether it will work for automated car or not, because some companies might not provide insurance coverage when the car is driving by itself. Did you understand the last part? Discuss insurance. Did you understand? Did you understand? Hello? Did you understand? Somebody tell me if you understood or not. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ? Come on, anybody. Tell me if you understood what I explained just now about insurance. Bhaskar, Subhash, Sheikh Moin, anybody, Supriya, Hemalata, anybody tell me, did you understand what I told just now about insurance? Nobody is replying. Okay. I think I'll end the class here. We'll meet at 9 o'clock. Bye bye, everybody.